Hello and welcome back. This is Trisha Jaktiani, and in this tutorial, I'm going to take you through another important DAX function, and that is the SUMX function. While we have not officially shown you the sum function in the DAX, it works exactly the same like your sum function in Excel, but there is also another function which is called as the SUMX function. Let's look at the difference between both the functions. So I'm going to quickly take you through the sum function and then show you how does the SUMX changes the way the sum function works. So let's understand what is the difference first of all. The sum function works exactly like how it works in Excel, gives you the sum of the range or that you have selected or sum of the data available in that range that you have selected, or rather the selected range. What is SUMX then? SUMX picks up the data from the table and it doesn't take up only the range. So you can pick up data from any column in that table. So let's look at my example here, which I have been using in all my example sheets here. So it becomes easier for you to understand what I'm doing here. I have the customer ID, the customer details are available in one of the sheets. The another sheet has the sales details where I have the sale price given to me. I will write this as sale price so it becomes easier for me to understand. This is the sale price and I have the quantity which is given to me. And then I have the profit and order ID mentioned here. Now, what if I want to identify the revenue? How will I do that? In order to get the revenue, I will just add a column in this revenue column, in this table, and multiply the sale price with the quantity. This is how I will do that, and I'll get the total. The total will be the total of all these, which is 779361.61. So now this was about how you do it in Excel. Simple way to do that. Another way to do that in Excel was, of course, we use the sum product method. So instead of using when you're using the sum product method, you don't really go into each of the sheets. You just do a sum product and select both the arrays to perform your calculations, wherein each range, the first range of data, will multiply with each of the rows in the second array and gives you the result. So this is the result of the revenue. That is the total revenue that has been generated. Now, this we need to, which we have already learned the sum product function in Excel, we need to use the sum product in Power Pivot. How do we do a Power Pivot? If I want to do a sum product, which I want to use as a measure in the Power Pivot or in my pivot table, I can add that as a measure, of course, but sum product is not a function in Power Pivot. What is it available as? It's the SUMX function. So let's see how does that work. Of course, the foremost thing that we do is definitely we are going to have a relationship, add this to a data model only if we want this to be linked to each other. If I need the result in another sheet, if you want the result in the same sheet, no need for relationship, of course, that you have already learned in my previous tutorials.
Congratulations on completing the business dashboard using Excel course. Ready to elevate your career? Join our postgraduate certificate in data science and AI and gain exclusive benefits like a complimentary Python programming bootcamp, 7+ case studies, dedicated student support, and access to our job opportunities portal. Don't miss out on this chance to transform your career. Invest in yourself today and join our program. Click on the link in the description to enroll now and take the next step in your career journey.
I'm going to use the same sheet for now, so you already know how to create a relationship if you have to. I will go on to the Manage tab to open my Power Pivot window. And in the Power Pivot window, as you are aware, we are going to start adding the measure. Now, just like sum product, we don't really add it into each cell and we don't add as a calculated column, but we use it as a measure so that the SUMX can be used for the measures. So that the result that we get is the total of this, but with multiplying each of the cells in both the rows. Let's understand how does that work. We already know that we have both the data added to the database here or to the data model. There is already a measure which we had used in the previous tutorial where we had learned the filter DAX function. If you want to learn that, you can always go on to my previous tutorials. I'm going to do the another one where I'm going to give this a name so it becomes easier for me to understand what is this and what is that. What is the other one? So this is what? Sum product, or I can call it SUMX. So I'm doing a SUMX to identify the revenue. To identify the revenue, of course, I'm going to start with so after giving the name, I do a colon and equal to, and then I will start with the SUMX function. Just look at the syntax of the SUMX function. It says table and the expression. Now, which table I want to pick up from? I want to pick up the data from the sales table, which is the same table which I am in right now, but I'll have to give that table name. So I say table as sales, and the expression, what is the expression that I want to give? Now, expression is something where just like we give a calculation in the filter function, here also we have to give a calculation and expression, wherein because I'm saying SUMX, I'm telling that take this sales as a table, and from the sales table the expression would be where sales of sale price that we have here. It's not yet been updated, so I will first need to update because we changed the name of the sales, right? So I just need to update it once and just do a refresh quickly so that it refreshes and give the name as sale price instead of just giving sale. You can see it is already changed. So ever you make any change on the sheet, you will have to come onto the data model to refresh it. All right, coming back, I'm quickly going back and doing that. So I'm going to say SUMX and revenue colon equal to, I start with the SUMX function, open the bracket, table will be the sales table, which we have already seen, comma, my expression is going to be sales. And what is it that I need? I need the sale price multiply by, what is it that I want to multiply by? Sales quantity. That means in the same table, I want to multiply it with the quantity. I close the bracket and enter, and let's see what do we get here. Do we get the total revenue? I'm going to increase the size of the row so that we are able to see this. Look at the number. Is it giving you the same number as what we had there? 779361.6. So what is it doing here? It is multiplying each of the cells. So it is multiplying 261 with 2, 14 with 2, 957 with 5. So each of the row is multiplied with the second array. Sorry, each of the cell in the first array is multiplied with each of the row in the second array. Once it is multiplied, and then it gives you the sum of that or the total of that particular data which we have multiplied. Now we are already aware that if I'm creating a pivot table, this will be easily available in my pivot table data also. What I'll do is this time I'm not going to go and create a new pivot table. I had already created a pivot table for my filter. I'm going to refresh this and let's see if this is available because I'm using the customer detail here. You can see the sum of revenue is already available. Isn't this simple to actually understand? So what I'm trying to do here, the filter of data, and here was the sum of revenue. So this is the total revenue that you had that has been generated from the number of quantities sold for each of the price. Now if you change the revenue or the sale price and the quantity, it will automatically change the number in the SUMX as well or in your function as well. Now, like I mentioned, I had not officially shown you what is a sum function, but I'm just going to quickly go through that also. This was about the SUMX function. Now you know that what does a SUMX function do? It sums, it does a sum, it does the role of a sum product in Excel. Sum function, what it will do, it will just give you a sum. So if I want to just show the sum function, so I can just do sum and I will call it revenue. It is not a revenue. I cannot because I don't have a revenue here. So I'll say sale price. So it will just give me the total of the sale price. So what I'll do is I'm going to do colon is equal to, and I'll say sum, and then pick up just the, so look at the difference between the sum and the SUMX. The SUMX was asking for the table. However, if you look in the sum function, it is asking you for a column. Now this becomes very, very important to understand, to look at the syntax that you have. You are going to go into the sales table and look for that column because your customer or the customer detail table is also linked. That's the reason it is giving you that option also, but we don't need to pick up anything from there. I just need to pick up the sale price from the sales table. So I'm just going to do that. You can actually do it with a double click also. So not necessary you're going to type it all the time, but if you decide to just double click on the one that you need, you can always drag it down, go on to the place where you want the data to be picked up from, double click on that, and you can close the bracket. Third way to do that is go on to sale, like you just typed SA, you've come to the sale data, and you can go on to that using the up and the down arrow key, go to that place which you want to take as a column name or inside your bracket. Select that by using the up and down arrow key. Once you have selected that, press tab key from your keyboard. Once you've done that, you can close that. You can see that it is after pressing the tab key, it automatically picks up that name, full name, into the brackets. Close the bracket and enter. You get the total of the sale price. So what is the difference between the two is it gives you a simple sum which is already run in the Excel, but SUMX is a not a replacement, but it's a replica of some product in Excel which we have already learned, but in Power Pivot, SUMX becomes some product becomes redundant because some product is not there, and that's the reason it has been replaced with the SUMX function. Hope you found this tutorial useful. Keep watching for more of the DAX functions. Thank you.